Now, I'm not going to say where I was last week, but I'm just going to leave this right here. Welcome back to the AB Scout Project. I'm Krager, and this is Alpha Bravo, and today we are starting off with the Ages of Prime Swerve. Now, this is it was probably the first G1 look Swerve, or G1 aesthetic Swerve that we've got since the original G1. Officially, we've had several third parties like I've covered in my Swerve video, but this is our first G1 update. It looks pretty good. This is obviously the gears mold redone, but I think it's really good. I like the colors. I mean, looks like the episode where he got squashed by Trypticon. They did do the fake shoulder tires there, so there's that. But hey, overall, not bad. We'll bring in the gears mold here just so you can see how much work they did. We actually have, all right, it's new chest. Pop that open there. All right, chest is the same. The chest cover is different. The arms are different. They under-intensified and moved in the wheels on gears, so it looks like the animation model where they went Swerve. They went more toward the original toy. The forearms are actually different. Hands are the same. Crotches are different. Hips are the same, but crotches are different. Thighs are the same. Calves are different. Feet are different. So, a lot of extensive remolding. I mean, you can even see the different wheel wells here between the two. There's definitely a lot of mold changes in here. You even pop it up here and you can see even in the top part of the vehicle, we see a lot of mold changes, but we'll get into that more with the vehicle when we get there. So, pop him back up there. Now, as far as articulation-wise, head is on a ball joint. Hard to move because these posts stay static. Not too bad. Arms come up that far, that's good enough. And of course, double jointed bicep because of transformation. You have a waist. Legs do anything you want them to. You can pop that out of the way for even more leggage. But yeah, thighs. Extreme ankle tilt. Yeah. I think that's about what we've come to expect for modern figures. So it's got everything we need. All right. One more comparison with our current winner, the Make Toys. Which obviously the Make Toys is your IDW aesthetic. And like I said, the T30 is still a valid IDW representation. So don't have to go out of your way to get the Make Toys if you've got the T30. But anyway, that's that. So let's go ahead and take a look at vehicle mode. And here we have Swerve in his truck mode, and he looks pretty good. Looks very swervy. Nice little step rails there that they had to do because they did fake tires on his shoulders. But otherwise, it looks really good, and it has chest on the back just like Gears did. Yeah, overall, not too bad. Rolls pretty well. Yeah. We'll bring in Gears here, and Gears doesn't roll as well. It's like all the wheels started to seize over time. But yeah, let's take a look. You can see the cab is different. The front of the truck is different, like we noted before. Top is different. The whole top of the bed is different. The bed is different. They took away this combat port because these wheels were attached to his legs, whereas these wheels are on Gear's chest. So all of this changed. So it's really extensive remold on the truck mode. So yeah, see there, both have visible head syndrome. The one thing with this one, with Gears, you could do, a hovercraft mode, which was kind of cool. Swerve, not so much. Yes, you do have 4 thrusters, but he's going to kind of take off like... It's a little unbalanced. He's going to be kind of flying at a permanent pitch. Yeah, like I said, that's because the wheels were attached to his legs instead of the chest, like with Gears. So, yeah. They do have the same gun. That's about it that you can see in the vehicle mode. Pop those back up. All right. Bring in the Make Toys, and you see the Make Toys is more Cybertron mode, I should say, and works really well with the IDW aesthetic. That way, since he was never on Earth, so having a Cybertron mode makes a lot more sense. So yeah, but this works for G1 because that's what we saw in G1. So not much else to say on the vehicle mode. I think it looks good. It looks very close to the original G1 Minibot. They just added the step sides so that they could have the fake wheels on the shoulders. So yeah, that's about it. Let's make our final decision. So is this our new IDW G1 Swerve? It's not IDW. It's not an IDW aesthetic, so the Make Toys or the T30, whatever your preference is your IDW. So we're not going to worry about that. As far as G1, the last update that was close to scale was a Magic Square. So I think I like this one better just because it's more closer to the scale, chug scale, because even the Magic Square was short on on the Make Toys. So, and of course the Magic Squares are supposed to be like, core scale. But anyway, so we're going to call the Age of the Prime Swerve our new G1 Swerve. And I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks really good. All right, let's go on to the next one. And finally for today, we have the Age of the Prime animated Ratchet. And I actually really like this. I think it's really cool. This, of course, is the Trailbreaker mold redone. But I think it represents the character really well. Now, I didn't have the original animated Ratchet because I couldn't find one in one piece. But this is still pretty cool. You got the Ratchet face with that broken head crest there. So that's pretty cool. You also turn them around and you get all the weapons. You flip this out and there's even more weapons. There's his little magnetic things and all his different tools, his can opener, his hammer, his wrench, his pile driver. And of course, those weapons. And yeah, and you can see they all have a place to stow up there, so that's pretty cool. And you can even leave these in place the whole time you're transforming them, or you can use all the special hiding places that they built into it so that they all incorporate into the vehicle mode. So that's pretty neat. And of course, you can put him on the side with these combat ports or in his hand, however you choose to use any of those tools. So that's pretty cool, must say. All right, we'll bring in the Trailbreaker mold. We got the Diaclone / Shattered Glass version here. Just so you can see the changes they did on this one. All right, looks like just these knees and thighs are the same here. Crotch is actually different and hips are different. Forearms, arms are the same. Actually, upper arm is different. The upper arm is different. And of course, they changed how these flank, which necessitated changes in the shins here. So, shins and feet. So, and of course, new head, new upper chest to put in the sirens. And they added windshield wipers as well. The vehicle mode front is different. Let's turn around here. Some changes in the backpack. Make it look more animated Ratchet. Still very hollow in the calf area. But, yeah. And see they moved two combat ports up here instead of one in the middle. And, of course, you lost all this stuff up here with the new mold. But that fits with the aesthetic. So yeah, looks pretty good. And like I said, another pretty extensive remold from like the Swerve was. And of course they, both happen to be red and white for this episode. That was purely coincidence. All right. So we'll take a look at the current winner for IDW is the Siege for me, which I still like this as my IDW Lost Light Ratchet. So yeah, you can see just two completely different aesthetics. This one isn't going to be G1 IDW. So we're not going to worry about it. We just have this for comparison. And of course, G1 is, Studio Series, so we're not going to worry about that. So yeah, not really lots to say. Articulation is the same as Trailbreaker. You got ball joint on the head, arms move until you start hitting tools, swing out there. You got that. You got the double, or it's a single hinge, but you can go that far with it. So you actually have a wrist swivel, waist, legs can go anywhere and everywhere you want. You can break that over for a double bend and flip that over for almost extreme ankle tilt. So yeah, no complaints as far as articulation wise. I just really like it. I think this one came out really well, and this really convinced me to buy the Bumblebee so that I could have the original the original crew of the animated. All right, let's take a look at the vehicle mode. And here we have Ratchet in his ambulance mode, and it looks really good. Looks a lot, or as close as they could get with this mold to his animated appearance, so it looks really good. And they did do a lot of work on this mold to get it to this, so that's pretty neat. Rolls good when you have his hands in the right position. Then it rolls great. Bringing the Trailbreaker mold, and you can see this looks more like continuous ambulance, where this looks like a pickup truck with a camper shell like it's supposed to. So yeah, you can see all the difference there. And this actually had a 2-point hinge instead of having this tiny hinge here with a little spade on it. So that all changed, and the attachment of the shins changed. So yeah, you can see basically nothing's the same in vehicle mode. Honestly, everything got changed. The wheels remain the same. That's about it. Flip them under, you see about the same configuration and transformation. And what I talked about before, where you could hide away the weapon. You can't, like I said, you can totally keep all the weapons attached up here through the whole transformation process and just have all his weapons sticking out here. That's not a problem. But they did put in spaces to hide everything. The can opener goes to the bottom of the backpack deep in there. The hammer attaches to the legs there. The pile driver and wrench attached to 5mm ports up here, so that you can have all and the magnetic hands stay in the same spot. So you can have all the weapons in vehicle mode stowed away and where it looks good. Otherwise you have tools hanging out all around here. We didn't lose any combat ports because that was the only combat port on the original. So we actually gained combat ports. So yeah. Bring out Siege just so you can see how they look together. So yeah, very Cybertron-y there. Well, this is in the Earth mode, which we expected with animated. So yeah, not a whole lot more to say. So let's go ahead and finish him out. Alright, since we already said he's not going to win IDW G1, I thought I'd just bring out what I consider to be the core cast members for animated. And I think they look really good together since they've all been G1ified. Even though this is supposed to be Prime, I'm not going to buy another mold. That they're probably another version of this mold where they just republish this one with a different, slightly more animated head. This will just be my bulkhead. We'll call it good. So, and I think they look really good with their G1ified type molds. I like the upgrade kit for Optimus because it makes him look cooler. And I kind of wish I'd got the upgrade kit for the Prowl to give him that samurai look and get his powered up version. But yeah, I like this. I think this works for your core animated cast. And I think they look really good on a shelf. Alright. That's about all I'd say, so let's wrap this up. And I think that about wraps it up for today. So, thanks for joining us today on the AB Scout Project. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, ring that bell, and I'll see y'all later.